This week I got a fidget spinner. I know, I'm like 8 months behind the trend here. I was given it as a gift, I didn't buy it myself. I don't know why I feel that that's important to mention, but just as a 29-year-old woman, I feel like I should say I didn't buy myself a fidget spinner. Usually I get very distracted from writing scripts for these videos, so it'd be interesting to see whether this can help me stay on track. So far, no. Hello, it's me again. A friend of mine has come up with a really good idea, which is that during December, in the lead up to Christmas, she donates to a different charity every day and writes about it on her Facebook page. It doesn't have to be a big donation at all, it could be as little as £1. But the idea is that by donating and then writing about it, she not only helps raise funds for these charities, but also to spread awareness of them, which is 2 thumbs up ace. And a few people have jumped on board and started their own charity charity advents, we were right the first time, which means that even more charities are getting donations and being written about, which is just fantastico. And now I'm jumping on the bandwagon, admittedly halfway through Advent, but better late than never. Now, because I'm making a video rather than posting about each charity daily on Facebook, I'm gonna list all the charities that I have donated to or will donate to in the lead up to Christmas. Or at least 21 charities that I've decided that I'm going to donate to so far. I have space for 3 more charities. Suggestions, very much welcome. I'll pop links to all of the charities that I'm going to talk about in the description, so if you want to read or donate to any of them, scroll on down to the description box. So in no particular order, here are the 21 charities which I have so far decided to donate to this Advent. Silver Star, which is an Oxford-based charity that helps mothers who experience complications during pregnancy. My niece was born last year at about 33 weeks, weighing just £2 14 ounces, and the Silver Star unit looked after not only her but also my sister and my brother-in-law during a very difficult time, for which I am eternally grateful. The NSPCC, which is the UK's leading children's charity and aims to put a stop to child abuse. Barnardo's, which is another children's charity that transforms the lives of vulnerable children across the UK. George and the Giant Pledge. 4-year-old George was diagnosed with cancer at the beginning of this year, and his parents, Vicky and Woody, are aiming to raise £1 million so that more funding can be put into children's cancer research. I had the absolute pleasure of meeting and filming with the family a couple of months ago, and they are just incredible, like incredible humans. If you want to read more about their story, I encourage and urge you to go over to their Facebook page, where they write a daily blog about all the stuff they're up to and how George is doing. To Wish Upon a Star, which is another charity whose founder I've had the pleasure of meeting and interviewing through work. Rianne set up the charity a few years ago after her son died very soon after his first birthday, and then a few days later her husband unfortunately took his own life. The charity aims to provide bereavement services for families, specifically for parents who have lost a child. Young Minds, which supports the mental health and well-being of young people across the UK. The Cats Protection League, because cats. The Dogs Trust, partly because we are doing some work with them at the moment, also just to balance out the universe, because we had cats, we have to have dogs too. The WWF, which funds wildlife preservation and conservation, and generally wants to make sure that we look after the planet and all of the creatures on it. City Harvest, which is a London-based charity that distributes surplus food from restaurants or grocers and takes them to shelters that feed homeless people. Speaking of shelters, why not Shelter itself, the charity that aims to end homelessness. Stand Tall, which is another organisation that I've met through work. Esther, the founder, set up the charity a few years ago after she was in an abusive relationship, and it aims to help any woman or girl who has experienced abuse or bullying. Stonewall, which is an LGBT rights charity in the UK. I have some rainbow laces which I bought from them a year or so ago after somebody saw a rainbow badge that I was wearing and spat in my face. I made a video about it, you should go watch that. The Foundation to Decrease World Suck, which is an organisation set up by the vlog brothers John and Hank Green. It distributes donations amongst a whole bunch of charities. I think they take a vote each year on how they're going to distribute funds. I might be wrong, but I think that's how it works. Another kind of umbrella organisation is the Disasters Emergency Committee. Again, this is another one that I've worked with a fair bit, and they basically spring into action when there are big humanitarian crises across the world. Book Aid International, which I wasn't aware of until I started putting this video together. I thought, I like reading. I bet there are some good reading or book related charities out there, and turns out there are. Book Aid basically distributes books to libraries, schools, hospitals, prisons, refugee camps, basically anywhere that they can to encourage literacy. Brain tumour research, because apparently it's one of the least well-funded cancer charities, despite the fact that brain tumours are the biggest cancer killers in people under the age of 40. Age UK, which helps lonely older people across the UK. Alzheimer's Society, because Alzheimer's and dementia are horrible diseases, and the sooner that somebody can find cures for them, the better. The Myton Hospices, which are a group of hospices where I grew up in Warwickshire that give amazing end-of-life care. And finally, the Samaritans, who give emotional support to anybody who is struggling to cope or who is at risk of suicide across the UK. So those are my first 21. I've tried to keep things varied in terms of size of the charities and their focus, but I'm sure there are plenty of gaps. So yeah, please do give me some suggestions for the final 3 charities that I can donate to before Christmas. If you're interested in any of the charities that I've mentioned, I will leave links to their sites in the description box, so please do go and take a read. And maybe even donate to 1 or 2. Special Christmassy drinks from coffee shops are nice, but maybe we could all collectively skip one this week and give a couple of quid to charity instead. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. This was essentially just a list of charities. It's not the most thrilling of content, so I do appreciate it if you stuck with me to the end, and even more if you go and take a read, maybe even donate to a couple of them. I'll be back next week. In the meantime, please remember to work hard, laugh harder, and always accept a hug. Bye!